Hey, how you doing? I promised that we would also do one series solving algorithm problems with the Dart programming language. This is where it begins. So, if you go to freecodecamp.org/learn slash coding interview prep, I'd rather show this to you. You'll find that there are two very interesting chapters. One is about Rosetta code, another is about Project Euler. We're going to do Project Euler problems, and you might want to understand that Project Euler is about solving mathematics problems through code. This is a very brief introduction. If you go to the Project Euler homepage, you'll see all of these facts, which includes a fact about we can only solve the first 100 questions in public, and if I am to solve more than 100 in public in video, guess what, my Project Euler account will be deactivated or disabled. So let's move forward. There are about 700 really challenging questions, moving from low difficulty to really high difficulty, and we're going to solve the first 100 on recording. Now, FreeCodeCamp also hosts all of the first 400 or some questions on Project Euler, so you can feel free to use these to brush up on your mathematics and coding skills. We're going to do the first question in this video. Multiples of 3 and 5, pretty simple. It's just an introduction of what to expect. Point is, if we list all the natural numbers below 10 that are either multiples of 3 or 5, we get 3, 5, 6 and 9. The sum of these multiples is 23. Find the sum of all multiples 3 or 5 below the provided parameter value number. The actual Project Euler question, if you go to archives, is if we list all the natural numbers, find the sum of all multiples of 3 or 5 below 1000. Let's get to the solution. The setup over here is pretty simple. We have test setup over here, and we'll do one challenge in one file and call that file in main.dart. And we have a simple extension method on any type t, which will just call print of this.toString. It will just allow me to print to the console really fast. Let's get started. Now we'll name this function. Obviously it will return an integer, sum of multiples less than, and it takes an integer. Cool. And now we will need to do something like this. We'll call this function with this parameter, and we'll call the print object on this function. Okay, so let's run this code and we'll see the error because what is being returned is null. A good start, not the worst start as of now. Now we already have one test case, is like if we go below 10, the multiple is 23. So we'll just do this to 10, and now we want our answer to be 23. So we could just do a return 23, and if we run this, it would print 23 and exit. So our setup is working well. Now let us implement something. So we'll use something called set in Dart. Set is a data structure which allows only one instance. It does not allow duplicates to get in, and this is where it will be very useful for us, because like we'll just do a brute force checking from 1 to 1000 all the multiples of 3 and 5, and we'll keep adding them to the set. And guess what, if we are worried about the multiples of 15 numbers, which are both multiples of 3 and 5 getting added twice, we don't have to, because set will only accept one instance of that literal. So let's see what the implementation looks like. First we'll declare the set, and call it the, what do we call it, multiples. Bad with spellings. Multiples equal to set, and let's instantiate it, and that's it, and then run a loop. uh, we want to run a loop from 1 to the max number, but since we are finding multiples of 3 and 5, we can skip 0, 1 and 2. So we'll do something like for int I equals 3, I is less than number. We can also do an equal to number, max number actually, max number, and do an I plus plus, and we'll do if, and we'll check I remainder 3 equals 0, or I remainder 5 equals to 0. We'll just do multiples dot add I, and we'll just return multiples dot reduce. So reduce takes a value element, and you have to do something to aggregate everything to the value. So if we return value plus element, this will aggregate the numbers and sum them up, so it's the sum of all the digits in the set. And now if we run this, we'll get 33. Something wrong with this. We were supposed to get 23. So how and why are we adding one extra number? Is because we're doing an equals to. So the condition is that the natural numbers need to be below 10. This 10 was not added. And now we'll get 23, which is the number we require. Let us see if we can make the for loop look a little bit more Kotlin like, because like this is a C, like, and I would like love to do something like for I in 1 or 3 to 1000, but this is not something that the Dart language supports yet. So let's do something like list dot generate, and length would be max number minus 3, and since we're starting counting from 3, now for 0 we want 3, we'll return index plus 3. Now what this does is this generates this list, and for each item in this list I, it will just iterate over this. Let's do something like this. We might not need this. I believe it should work. Okay, so we could also do var over here. Now that this is working, let's check whether our result is still 23, which it is. We could also make it a little bit prettier by using a package called Quiver. So if you are aware of this package, this is a package written by some Googlers who wanted the collections and IO and iterables. Like, it allows us to use Dart libraries in a more effective way. So we'll use iterables, and we'll use something called a range iterable. So we can replace this entire list or generate with range, and this is obviously inspired by Kotlin. And we can see that the variable is named start or stop. So like if we start with 3, we have to provide a stop point, and we can also add one more number to it, which would be the step size, but we'll just keep it till here. And I guess this will also work now. And as we see this work, so Quiver allows us to simply define this range. I got this tip from Stack Overflow, but yeah, this is pretty clean. And the answer should be 233168. So just let's check by the real input, and we're getting 233168 in no time at all. And that would be the end of this video.